In the study of human behavior, we are surrounded by disciplines that seek to explain why we act, why we suffer, and why we desire. Evolutionary psychology, neurobiology, trauma theory, and attachment models each provides a vital window into the forces that shape us. They offer what we call explanatory truth. But there is a subsequent question these disciplines often leave unanswered. Once a force becomes active within a person, a relationship, or a system, what does it do to authorship? This is the distinct domain of the Neuro-Structural Sovereignty Framework, or NSSF. Formulated by Shepard D. Durbano, it is a regulatory meta-framework. It claims authority solely at the level of regulatory consequence. It asks, does an activated force strengthen self-authored regulation, or does it reorganize the system toward dependency and capture? Its governing sequence: formation, fracture, load, and location. It begins with the esteem loop model. LM asks, where is worth being sourced? It tracks how a person evaluates their own desirability, belonging, and legitimacy. Neurovalue stress theory asks, what happens to claimed values under load? It measures the gap between our calm state ideals and our stress state behavior, the exact point where structure fails under pressure. The BIOS Cortex load model asks, how does the system reorganize under load, and how completely does it return? The critical indicator is return capacity, the speed with which a person returns to flexible functioning. The Four Quadrants Matrix maps real-time state along two axes: agency, from borrowed to self-authored, and inner security, from fragile to internally sustained. It is not a permanent identity, it is a dynamic map of movement under load. The constitutional architecture rests on a crucial distinction. External systems are scaffolds. Sovereignty is not the absence of scaffolds. It is the metabolization of their regulatory function into portable authorship. Activation is a natural response to the world. Desire, grief, awe, and threat are supposed to move us. Capture begins only when that activation reorganizes our regulation away from authorship and towards sustained external dependency. To test the framework's validity, we apply it to narratives where individuals undergo extreme load prior to a major reformulation of identity. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, an established heroic identity is shattered by the death of Enkidu. The profound load of grief produces a value fracture. The pursuit of immortal glory fails. Gilgamesh wanders, but ultimately metabolizes his mortality. In the narrative of Adam and Eve, desire and prohibition create an acute load. The value of obedient relationship fractures. The system reorganizes around defensive hiding, a movement toward borrowed security. In Echo and Narcissus, we see complete capture. Unreciprocated longing creates a load with zero return capacity. Both dissolve, their systems entirely captured by external signals. The Exodus presents a collective unit carrying a pre-existing slave identity. Throughout their journey, they oscillate between borrowed security and moments of agency, a long-term, incomplete metabolization of sovereignty. In the canonical gospel tradition, Jesus in the wilderness represents a profound, double regulatory rupture. First, a vertical fracture. Jesus remains within the Jewish scriptural grammar but refuses to let inherited systems define how authority will be organized. He metabolizes sacred inheritance into post-inherited, self-authored authority. Second, a horizontal fracture. He steps away from his recognizable social location as a local builder. The wilderness becomes the load chamber where both social identity and inherited religious authority are tested. The narrative presents him refusing both social recall and religious spectacle, metabolizing inherited structures into authored mission from a socially marginal but canonically engaged position. On the Damascus Road, Paul experiences dramatic sensory disruption. His Pharisaic values fracture severely, leading to profound reorientation. Yet his post-load system retains the intense structural traces of prior institutional formation. For Muhammad in the cave, an overwhelming encounter under isolation and fear creates acute load. Pre-existing tribal and commercial structures are not abolished but metabolized and elevated under a unifying sacred order. Finally, the framework must be applied reflexively to a contemporary, non-canonized case. Daniel's early expressions on social media manifested in highly reactive, scathing forms, direct public attributions of malice to political figures. This reflected a regulatory state oriented toward external blame and emotional charge. Over time, purely reactive critique proved insufficient. The NSSF itself is the output of this metabolization, a portable diagnostic architecture that makes visible a previously hidden order of regulatory experience. The strength of the framework lies in its disciplined boundaries. It is not a clinical tool, nor a theory to be forced onto every case. A framework is sovereignly useful only if it can survive being outgrown. The sovereign individual metabolizes the teaching without being metabolized by it. Has the system become more self-authored or merely more coherently explained?